Hi, welcome to SGT University. Myself, Dr. Preeti Dabrar from Faculty of Indian Medical System. Today, we will be learning about blood supply and nerve supply of pleura along with its clinical anatomy and surface marking.
Let's talk about races of lungs. There are two races of parietal pleura. First question arises, what is races of lungs? Races is nothing but it is a potential space or reserve space for the lungs to expand during deep inspiration. The costomediastinal races is a potential space at the border of the mediastinal pleura and the costal pleura. It assists lung expansion during deep inspiration, although its role is not as significant as the costodiaphragmatic races, which has a greater volume. The costomediastinal races lies anteriorly behind the sternum and costal cartilages between the costal and mediastinal pleura. Particularly, it is only obvious in the region of the cardiac notch of the left lung. This races is filled up by the anterior margin of the lungs even during quiet breathing. The costodiaphragmatic races lies inferiorly between the costal and diaphragmatic pleura. Vertically, it measures about 5 cm and extends from the 8th rib to the 10th rib along the mid-axillary line. During inspiration, the lung expand into these recesses, so these recesses are obvious only in expiration and not in deep inspiration. Let's talk about blood supply and lymphatic drainage of pleura. The parietal pleura is a part of the thoracic wall. Its blood supply and lymphatic drainage are therefore as the same that of the body wall. It is thus supplied by intercostal, internal thoracic and musculophrenic arteries. Venous drainage of pleura. The veins drain mostly into the aegis and internal thoracic veins. The lymphatic drains into the intercostal, internal mammary, posterior mediastinal and diaphragmatic nodes. The pulmonary pleura, like the lung, is supplied by the bronchial arteries while the vein drain into bronchial veins. Now we will discuss clinical anatomy of pleura. Some clinical conditions associated with the pleura. First is pleurisy. Pleurisy is the inflammation of the pleura. It may be dry, but often it is accompanied by a collection of fluid in the pleural cavity. The condition is called the pleural effusion. Pleural effusion is one of the signs of the tuberculosis of the lungs. Dry pleurisy is more painful because during inspiration both layers become in contact and there is friction produced. Due to this friction of the two layers, patient feels severe pain in the chest. Presence of air in the pleural cavity is known as pneumothorax. Next is presence of blood in the pleural cavity. This condition is known as hemothorax. Now, presence of both fluid and air in the pleural cavity is known as hydropneumothorax. Empyema is a condition related to the pleura. Empyema is the condition in which the collection of pus present in the pleural cavity. Aspiration of any type of fluid from the pleural cavity is called paracentesis thoracis. It is usually done in the 8th intercostal space in the mid-axillary line. The needle is passed through the lower part of the space to avoid injury to the principal neurovascular bundles. Costal and peripheral parts of diaphragmatic pleura are innervated by intercostal nerves, hence irritation of these regions cause rapid pain along with intercostal nerves to thoracic or abdominal wall. Mediastinal and central part of diaphragmatic pleura are innervated by phrenic nerve, hence irritation here cause rapid pain on the tip of the shoulders. Pain on the right shoulder occurs due to inflammation of gallbladder, while on the left shoulder is due to the splenic rupture. Pleural effusion causes obliteration of costodiaphragmatic recesses. Pleura extend beyond the thoracic cage at the following areas. These areas are right xiphoid costal angle, right and left costovertebral angle, right and left side of root of the neck as cervical dome of pleura. The pleura may be injured at these sites during surgical procedures. So these sites have to be remembered by surgeons.
Some facts about pleura we have to remember always.
Parietal pleura limits the expansion of the lungs, and visceral pleura behave in same way as the lungs. Parietal pleura has the same nerve supply and blood supply as the thoracic wall. Pleural cavity normally contain a minimal serous fluid for lubrication, which is essential for smooth movement of lungs during respiration. But collection of excessive fluid between two layers developed into a pathological condition known as pleural effusion.
Let's see comparison between two layers of pleura.
Visceral layer developed from splanchnopleuric mesoderm, while parietal layer of pleura developed from somatic mesoderm. Visceral layer lines surface of lungs including the fissure, while parietal layer of pleura lies thoracic wall, mediastinum and diaphragm. Nerve supply of visceral layer of pleura is come from sympathetic nerve from T2 to T5 ganglia and parasympathetic from vagus nerve, while nerve supply of parietal layer of pleura is come from thoracic nerve and phrenic nerves. Visceral layer of pleura is insensitive to pain, while parietal pleura is sensitive to pain, which may be referred. Blood supply of visceral layer of pleura occur by bronchial vessels, while blood supply of parietal pleura comes from intercostal and pericardiophrenic vessels. Lymph drainage of visceral layer is into tracheobronchial lymph node, while parietal pleura lymph drains into intercostal lymph node. Let's see surface marking of pleura. The cervical pleura is represented by a curved line forming a dome over the medial one-third of the clavicle with a height of about 2.5 cm above the clavicle. Pleura lies in the root of the neck on both sides. The anterior margin, the costomediastinal line of pleura reflection is as follows. On the right side, it extends from the sternoclavicular joint downwards and medially to the midpoint of the sternal angle. From here, it continues vertically downward to the midpoint of xiphisternal joint, crosses to the right of xiphoid costal angle. On the left side, the line follows the same course up to the level of the fourth costal cartilage. It is then arches outward and descend along the sternal margin up to the sixth costal cartilage. The inferior margin or the costodiaphragmatic line of pleural diffraction passes laterally from the lower limit of its anterior margin, so that it crosses the 8th rib in mid-clavicular line, the 10th rib in mid-axillary line, and the 12th rib at the lateral border of the sacrospinalis muscle. Further, it passes horizontally a little below the 12th rib to the lower border of the 12th thoracic vertebra, 2 cm lateral to the upper border of 12th thoracic spine. Thus, the parietal pleura descend below the costal margin at 3 places: at the right zip costal angle, and at the right and left costovertebral angle, below the 12th rib behind the upper pole of the kidney. The latter fact is of surgical importance in exposure of the kidney, because pleura may be damaged at this site. The posterior margin of the pleura passes from a 0.2 cm lateral to the 12th thoracic spine to a 0.2 cm lateral to the 7th cervical spine. The coastal pleura becomes the mediastinal pleura along this line.
So today we covered blood supply of pleura, nerve supply of pleura and lymphatic drainage along with its clinical anatomy, and today we covered its surface marking also. In our next lecture we will study surface marking of lungs and trachea. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. See you next time.